Father, with some thoughts on that. Godfather?
Buonasera, Don Imus. So this Petrovante Mayor Bloomberg, he, how do the kids say it these days, got served. A half-gallon can of whoop-ass. A judge has stopped his idiotic soda ban, blocking the rule from going into effect. I hope he's learned his lesson. Se a newyorkese vuole bere una rugiada di montagna alla misura di un tamburo di olio, berà una rugiada di montagna alla misura di un tamburo di olio. If a New Yorker wants to drink a Mountain Dew the size of an oil drum, he's going to drink a Mountain Dew the size of an oil drum. Besides being told he cannot by some Finocchio mayor. I say that with no disrespect to Mayor Koch, may he rest in peace, for he was a man of honor, not some rich punk with a chip on his shoulder because he got wedgies for being the kid who reminded the teacher she forgot to give homework, like this Bloomberg, who was jealous because a 2-liter bottle is taller than he is. Soda ban. All the troubles the city of New York has, this stunad wants to regulate the size of a root beer. I have a 2-liter bottle of Diet Sprite in my office this very day. Come arrest me, Megaluch. But I know you will not. Why? Because you won't act like a man. Say hello to my little friend. His name is Dr. Pepper. And he's not so little. He's 2 liters tall. You want to tell me I can't have him?
Anybody's on the planet.
I didn't think so.
14 for the new seating at soccer games. Our friend Brian Wilson. Good morning, Mr. Wilson.
Hi, I'm Brian Wilson. How are you? I'm fine.
Great,
I don't know why I'm here for the Mensa meeting. Isn't Mensa what the women get every month that makes them crampy?
No, that's Mensa's.
Oh, because I know that's why Alan's here.
Or is it
Liar! Liar!
Thanks for making me feel at home.
Liar!
you have post-traumatic stress syndrome?
Yeah.
Is that a Tourette?
Liar!
I've got TBMS, post-built traumatic stress syndrome.
Yeah. So I was in the Margaritas there in Huntsville for this big celebratory dinner after the region finals, Region 9 final rodeo, you know. And so about 25 of us there. So the waiter says to me, so what would you like to drink? So I like root beer, but I cut back on all the sugar because of cancer, you know. Mm-hmm. But occasionally I'll have. So I said I'll have some lemonade.
Oh, okay.
He said at the top of his voice, well, we have pink lemonade.
Yeah. Well, real men drink pink lemonade, right?
So I'm sitting next to Joe Beaver, and there's
Under your breath.
other cowboys there, and there's cowboys all throughout the whole. It's a huge place, Margaritas.
Yeah.
The food is okay, but it's a huge place that can accommodate these large parties of people, you know. So, and I notice that the glasses are these tall glasses, but they're dark red glasses.
Right.
So that whatever's in there, you can't tell, for example, what color it is. So there wasn't any need.
No.
If I could have simply said to the waiter, I'll have some lemonade, and he could have said, fine.
Would have been your secret, the two of you.
Yeah, that doesn't have to announce that it's pink lemonade.
Exactly right.
Or we can get you Shirley Temple.
So I say, almost under my breath, after he announces that they have pink lemonade, I say, well, lemonade. He said, okay, 1 pink lemonade.
This guy right here. Over here. I said over here.
That's like at the grocery store.
stand up a
Price
minute?
check on the tampons.
They put a straw in that glass, I'm sure.
Oh,
No, did they dress it up for you with a little umbrella and
No,
some
they
fruit and
didn't.
cherries on the side?
That is true. You had a straw with it, right? You had to have a straw with it.
Just humiliating.
Of course, a little bendy little straw
Really
with it.
loud.
Curly straw.
So then I had all of these vitamins I had to take and other stuff that the India gives me. So there's in a little baggie, there's about 50 of them.
With flowers on it.
So, well, I did that, but it was
Preparation H in aisle 3.
It's really humiliating.
Unlike the
Here with that
baggies
is
you
Dagan
used to
Medell. What's
carry
going
with
on,
you.
Dagan?
Well,
how times
5
have
record
changed.
days in a row for the Dow. Good morning, sir. Unfortunately, the futures are lower right now. Dow futures are off about 30 points, 31 points. The S&P is down as well in the futures, but the S&P 500, bigger gauge of the market and the economy, is just about 9 points away from its all-time high. So incredible run for the stock market. And this is in the Wall Street Journal today. Silicone breast implants have made a major comeback in this country. Just 6 years after the FDA lifted its ban on these implants, last year, nearly 3/4 of all breast augmentations were done with silicone implants. 72% versus 28% using saline. So that's a pretty incredible turnaround. And I can tell you why women opt for silicone implants, if you want to know.
Yeah.
More natural feel. They look more natural. The silicone looks like a real breast. The saline, although if it leaks, it's not a problem. It gets rippling and you can kind of see through it, and it doesn't feel like, well, a boob. That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's definitely a factor.
And you have to have an MRI. If you have silicone, you have to have an MRI every couple of years to make sure they're not leaking. But again, if you want natural implants, you go with the. Am I talking too much? Maybe I should shut up.
No, it's fine.
No, keep going.
And I think it's the gesturing that might be throwing you off.
No, it's fine.
You know what was shocking? This is the biggest cosmetic surgery procedure in the country. There were 330,000 boob jobs done in this country last year. Wow. Incredible numbers.
Yeah.
Advancements being made in boob implants.
What
every
happens
day.
if they leak, though? That's a.
You have to have them replaced.
Right.
And there are other side effects with the silicone implants. But, you know, if
Like
you
what?
there's a thing called capsular contracture.
Seems
where
like
it
you know
gets
a lot
hard.
about these.
Yeah, I've looked into getting breast
I see.
implants. I've met with multiple doctors. I just, if I'm going to go, I'm going to go really big.
Damn right, Dolly.
Right? I'm going to come in one day and they're going to be like double D's. And you're going to be like, what did you do?
Like Anna Nicole Smith. All of a
I look
sudden.
forward to that.
But they do make you look fat.
Have you been getting complaints or what?
No, I'm just saying, I'm big downtown, so the older I get, the bigger I'm going to get in the behind, so I got to balance myself out eventually.
Great discussion here.
Thank you for sharing that with us. 17 after the hour. This portion of the I'm Mr. One in program.
I'm falling this way.
Talking about the big old kitties. Is brought to you by Cars for Kids.
Oh, good.
That's Cars with a K. Donate your
Hey, kids.
car today. It's time for sports. 17 after the hour.
Appropriate rest.
And here with that is Warner Wolf. Morning, Warner.
Good morning, I'm Man. NBA. Well, on the day that the Knicks earlier announced they would raise ticket prices next season to a league-high average of $117 a ticket, the Knicks went out and rewarded their fans by losing to the Warriors by 29 points, 92-63.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Breen of MSG knew it was going to be a long night just before the half.
Shumpert will try a three. And the Knicks continue to struggle from three-point range. 2 for 11. And for the game, the Knicks are 29% from the field. The Knicks have 32 points, and there's only 120 remaining.
After the game, Knicks coach Mike Woodson.
We played one quarter tonight, and that was it. We had nothing.
Spurs beat the Thunder by...
Wait a minute. The game's like 4 quarters, right?
That's correct, man.
Okay, well.
Unless it goes overtime, then it could
Sure.
be 5.
More.
Spurs beat the Thunder by 12. They go 26-4 at home. Nuggets win their 9th straight. The Jazz and Sixers win. And tonight's Heat-Hawks game is in Miami, not Atlanta, where the Heat is 29-3 and the Hawks only 15-17 on the road. So maybe that's number 19 for the Heat. College ball, you can add Davidson.
You can't guarantee that.
No. Okay. Even if I could, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
College ball to the next week's NCAA tournament, you can add Davidson, James Madison, Western Kentucky, Iona, and Gonzaga. Gonzaga still the number 1 team of the country, winning last night. They go 31-2.
Yeah, but they can't beat Duke.
Well, if that's the final, well, you don't know if that would be the final. They could be, depending where they're seated.
I've got an invitation to enter Tony Powell's Final Four bracket, which I declined because.
Oh, really?
What does it cost?
The same as it always costs. We can't discuss business on the air. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Of course.
Well, you're not supposed to do this?
No.
No betting.
Oh, I didn't
No.
know that.
Cumulus Brothers betting? No.
Of course not. I would never. Nobody in
Well,
like mine would
how
do
come you
that.
collect money
No
from
betting.
everybody every year?
Money.
Money?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just so that you don't lose it. I'm holding it for you in the event that you may need an additional $25 at some point in the future. You go, where's my 25? I go,
Oh,
guess
Tony.
what? I just happen to have it for you.
25 this year?
No, it's
It's for fun.
It's just for fun.
The
It's,
money's for
Monopoly
protection.
money.
What?
The money's for protection.
Well, how much is the protection money?
And whatever I say it is.
Well, what is it?
it's could be $10. Could be
3 for
3
25.
for 25. These things are flexible. These, it's all up in the air.
3 what for 25?
Well,
Sounds like a real legit pool.
you know,
You
three
can
things.
fill out 3 brackets for $25?
No, you're gonna
You,
three
you
guys-
can do anything you'd like, of course. All things are possible.
What happens, Warner, if they get caught doing this?
Oh, that's a penalty.
Doing what? What are you talking about? You're talking about a friendly game between friends.
I mean, any station I've ever worked at, it says right there's no gambling.
And every year, nobody ever gets the money. You get the money, and nobody ever.
Who gets it?
You do.
Every dollar.
Every dollar.
Third base.
Who's the guy that gets the money?
20 minutes after the hour. So,
It's
have
an
you done sports yet, Warner?
I'm back on tour this summer with my all-star band, because my name is Star, not because anybody in the band actually is one. That sound you hear, that's the sound of a bar being lowered. Even Pete Best turned me down. I once had Joe Walsh, Billy Preston, Levon Helm. Now all you need to go out on tour with me is A, own a van, and B, be willing to drive it. This year it's Todd Rundgren, the guy from Toto, and the guy from Mr. Mister. Hey, I don't care what anybody says. Broken Wings is a great song. No, really. I always wanted to play drums on Rosanna. Okay, sure, it's a step down, but hey, somebody's got to open for Hall & Oates. Jesus, where's Kurt Cobain's 20-gauge Remington when you need it? This is the final indignity. I was once a former Beatle. Now I'm this close to being a member of Foreigner. Paul sold out the Aztec Stadium in Mexico City next month. Meanwhile, I'm doing the Bergstein Bat Mitzvah at Leonard's in Great Neck. Okay, everybody, it's time for Grandpa Morty to cut the challah and me to cut my own throat. Got to pay your dues if you want to sing the blues. Yeah, well, I'm all paid up. Just take a look at me face. Did you know that during the natural aging process, your skin's ability to produce collagen slows, decreasing its firmness? Collagen serum visibly reduces the appearance of wrinkles, fine lines, and crow's feet, and helps the skin appear plumper, firmer, and smoother. Collagen, because it don't come easy.
Like Stockton is going bankrupt. That's your business
Ugly
news.
situation.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to move back.
Now, who would that be?
That's Megan McDowell. Dagan's sister.
Oh, hi, Megan. How are you?
Oh,
Morning, sir.
Looking
Nice
good.
to see you.
hey, Megan.
How are
So
you?
you were supposed to be doing the business news. Do you have any comment on the business news?
Well, I mean, I don't know anything about the futures. I don't know why anybody cares about futures. It's not like you can do anything about it. It ain't happened yet.
Right.
Yes, well.
More of an indication of what's going to happen.
Yeah. I would do that.
How does the city go bankrupt anyway? I don't understand that.
Kind of run out of money and stuff. Yeah.
Well, more than you have.
Yes.
Hey, Connell, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are you married?
Yes.
Right.
No.
Yes,
Phyllis.
You know Sid Rosenberg,
No, it's not
Megan?
Phyllis.
So, Sid Rosenberg?
Yeah.
He's coming to the club where I dance.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
And what time do you dance?
I'm on the third shift,
Okay.
just
What
before
time?
closing time. He's on the no-touch list.
Oh, he is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he thinks a single allows him to perform a gynecological exploration.
Yeah.
Instead of singles, they throw peanuts at her.
The fact that you could even say that, I think is pretty good. So.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So Megan McDowell is going to be. Let me ask you this, Megan.
What?
Did you bring any material with you?
Yeah, I brought some little things to interject what I
Okay.
thought you wanted.
Right.
Talk about why I wasn't invited to the family reunion.
Why weren't you?
Well, last time I peed on a clam bake. I think that might have had something
come
to do
on.
with
See,
it.
those are the kinds of things we don't want to hear. 17 after the hour. It's time for sports and someplace. Planning a big weekend, a big dinner, or big night out with her boyfriend and Tamara Holder and somebody who Carlie has dredged up for Tamara, although you wouldn't think that it'd be that hard, would you? So,
not at all.
Not
but
sure.
apparently
Shouldn't
not,
be
so.
a problem, no.
Have you found somebody, Carlie, or no?
I have somebody in mind.
Okay.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Does there somebody in mind know who Tamara is?
I don't think so. My only concern is she might be just a little out of his league.
A little what?
A little out of his league.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Well, if he's living at home with mom.
No. He actually lives with my boyfriend, but he used to play in the NFL, and I know she used to be linked to somebody that played in the NFL, and I thought maybe they could talk sports or something like that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
She what now?
He used to play in the NFL, and I was saying, and she used to be engaged to somebody that played in the NFL. So
Joe Namath.
Okay. So
Maybe
your boyfriend's roommate,
Antonio Cromartie,
used to play in the NFL.
Yes.
Okay. Did he play for the Giants or Jets?
No, he didn't.
Oh, he didn't.
No.
What does he do now?
He's in finance as well.
Well, he works in Wall Street.
Yes.
Of course. Well, no. So why would Tamara be out of his league or vice versa?
Well, Tamara's like a super hottie, so I need to pick a super hottie as well. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Must have been an offensive
So your
lineman.
boyfriend's roommate is a dog. Is that what you're saying?
What's going on here?
He's like Eli Manning without the talent.
No, he
Is that
is
the
not. He's a sweetheart. We'll see.
God, well.
Well, okay. He has a nice personality.
He's got a great personality. That's a good
Okay,
way
well
to
that
put it.
means that he's fat and stupid. That's what that means.
Absolutely. You're talking
And
about
a bit bald-headed.
It's George Costanza.
It sounds like
Yeah, you know.
Carlie, this is...
You're killing it. Carlie, come on, you're killing us here.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah. You ruined this guy's life.
Or here's the other thing we could do. We
What?
could go to a bar. I don't bring my boyfriend, and we could scope out the bar scene, and I could, see if
Try
it
to
works
help
out
her
that
pick
way.
somebody up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you will end
that
up with
doesn't sound to me like a great idea.
Antonio Cromartie.
But that's how you met your boyfriend, right?
That's exactly. I'm good at that.
Okay, and he's and your boyfriend is a decent American.
He is. He's fantastic.
Okay. And took you to meet his parents and grandparents and all that. So it worked out fine for you.
Yes.
So, but then you're not a freak.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're a sweet young woman,
Mhm.
and I'm just not. And I'm not suggesting that Tamara's not.
No.
But I just think, well, you should have seen her last night on Hannity. I mean, the Hannity's, whether you like him or not, I'll happen to like him. But I mean, she bit his head off. And he was just, trying to get a...
She's a little strong-headed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Handcuffed him.
A whack job with a pair of handcuffs around her neck. So.
She brings the fire. Some guys like that.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, but keep us up to date on what's coming up. So all that's coming up, plus more medical bulletins. And we'll have a few days off after tomorrow. Maybe I'll recover then. Who knows?
Rejuvenated.
Keep hope alive. 11 after the hour. Herman Cain is here. And Megan McDowell is here as well. Megan, how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning, sir. You think you can't breathe? I'm sitting across from Connell. He's taking my breath away.
Oh, I
Take
know.
it
But
easy.
You
Connell's-
married?
I am married, yes.
Yes, he is.
Gertrude,
He's
right?
Very happily married.
Her
Has
name's Renee.
apparently
Whatever.
3 children, and I've met Connell's wife.
Very
She's
nice.
very attractive, so I don't know whether you would have a good shot there or not.
Believe me, I know where to go.
No, you don't.
Well, I'm
I know
sure you
where
do.
a man lives, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, yes, I guess you do. But you're sitting next to Herman Cain, and
Yes.
Herman Cain got away with the ladies.
There's no job openings at this time.
Oh, there isn't.
All the jobs are filled. I'm sorry,
I
I
see.
have no more job openings. Thank you for
I have a few openings.
Oh, no.
So anyway, all that is
send you a pizza.
all that's coming up. We are here on the Imus in the Morning program. Please welcome now to the program the great Dick Cavett. Good morning, Mr. Cavett. How are you?
Hello.
How are you, Mr. Cavett?
Is this Mr. Imus?
Yes, it is. I just introduced you as the great Dick Cavett. I wonder if I should be doing that.
Well, not today.
Why?
That was unfortunate because I was just telling Bernard that I'm a mess. I just got off 3 hours sleep on a red-eye flight from Rapid City, South Dakota. And if you want me to be funny, coherent, or articulate, you're going to be really disappointed. I can hardly see straight. I'm jet-lagged. I'm everything you want a guest to be when you're doing
One of my favorite songs is Rapid City, South Dakota by Kinky Friedman.
Yes, Kinky Friedman is splendid. Thanks to you, I know who he is. I didn't, I'm not up on a lot of country music, unless you consider Ricochet Romance from my high school days.
No, I don't.
By the way, I got to hear in the car coming from the airport, I got to hear here only, you and your wife and your son. That was really something. I wish I don't know how it ended, but Wyatt is, when you're talking about sex and what age, he's going to get marriage proposals from his appearance.
He's a fairly attractive child, too. So
he is, yes. How do you account for that?
I have no idea. So let me ask you, you began as a comedy writer.
So I did.
And when you used to write jokes, and let's just pick Johnny Carson, for example.
Yeah.
Although you did write for Parr as well.
Yeah.
And many others.
Yeah.
When you wrote the material, did you write it hoping that if the material wasn't that great, it would be saved in the delivery?
So wonderful question. What I mostly felt was, thank God this big star selected my joke over one the other writers wrote. And what I didn't feel, which you're supposed to, and people assume you do. In fact, I actually got a column out of this, was, I wish I were the one standing there in those beautiful, expensive clothes getting this big laugh from this adoring audience. That was never my dream, and yet it's what happened eventually. Yeah, but it's interesting. One thing you had to hope was that you worded the joke in the way the comic would recognize his rhythm and his vocabulary, his wording, and say it just right. I remember once what was it? I wrote for Johnny once on so-called audience cards, and we'd get the cards beforehand and write answers. And some woman wrote, "We're from Cleveland, and we're not impressed with your town. What makes New York so crummy?" And I wrote, "Tourists." Well, this stopped the show for a while, and I thought, okay, I guess I'm in Johnny's vein. By the way, funny he should come up. I just came from, what I went out west for was to go to the Johnny Carson Norfolk, Nebraska Great American Comedy Festival, which is in its 5th year now, and got to see some great comics, and Paula Poundstone was there, and I realized, seeing Johnny picture around and everything, what affection I had for him, and he for me. And people have said to me, having seen that documentary about him, the wonderful job they did on that thing on American Masters, I guess when you went on opposite him, that ended your friendship, as Joan Rivers did hers. And the fact it was the opposite of that, we laughed about it. And I remember calling him once and saying, "Johnny, I hope you're braced for the fact that I'm going on ABC with a short station lineup. Many of the affiliates don't carry the show. Some of them put it at 1 and 2 a.m. You better watch out."
No.
And he said, "Okay, Richard, I'm braced for that. But I hope you don't end up on Armed Forces Radio instead of television."
So the reason I asked you about the material is because I'm a huge fan of Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
Of his performing ability. I mean, he's obviously smart and funny unto himself, but I mean, there's a guy who can take just a nothing piece of material.
Yes, well, he's dead on with his voices. If they're not exact, he's funny about the fact that they're not exact. He does improvises beautifully, as you can see. He works the material beautifully. He really has got it just about perfected. If you ever get perfection.
So of these other folks at night, Leno, Letterman, Kimmel. Well, I love Kimmel, by the way. Fallon, Conan. Who do you like?
Well, Don, what are you asking me to do? I know all these people.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I know you wouldn't hesitate, but
you might.
I think I should probably take the coward's way out and say I just think they're all swell, and I never miss any of them.
Hey, did you watch that? I'm talking with Dick Cavett here in the Imus Morning program, 19 till the hour. Did you see The View yesterday? Well, no, you probably didn't. They had Rielle Hunter on, this woman who had this affair with John Edwards.
Uh-huh.
And now has written this book trashing his dead wife as being whatever. What's your view of that whole mess?
I guess I must say I feel about her the way Woody Allen spoke about a lady columnist once, that I think possibly she should be drowned in liquid goat grease.
That would be.
And I cleaned it up.
Yes, thank you for doing that.
As you sensed. I don't think her motives are the purest in probably any area of her life. And it makes me think of the sadness of Nora Ephron's death.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because thanks for doing that, Dick, because I was such a huge fan of hers. Not drooling at the mouth, but God, what a brilliant woman and what a brilliant writer. Oh, man, that girl could write.
Boy,
and she unfortunately died, 71 years old. Complications from pneumonia because she had cancer. But go ahead now with what you're going to say.
About a yard square obit in today's time, starting on the front page, and certainly deserved. And Nora and I went through hell once on a show of mine when a bombed English guest was unable to make it to the wings and had to be taken out and put on ice. And we had to fill not only her segment, but what was supposed to be 3 of his. And afterwards, we sort of fell into each other's arms. We sat there. It felt like the clock's hands had been welded. It just wouldn't go. And we had a half hour. And she had a way of saying things that you identified with without realizing it, like the fact, not a gag, but I loved when she said, I pick up People magazine, I leaf through it, and I don't know who anybody is. You know those things that Lonnie is off with Gorda and Sheedy is feeling with Capina and so on. Who the hell are they?
She wrote, of course, When Harry Met Sally, but what's the great book she wrote about her marriage to
yes,
Carl Bernstein?
We both know the title of it.
Do you remember, Bernie?
About her marriage with Carl Bernstein.
Yeah, Connell, do you remember? Of course, Charles would have known, but Charles is not here anymore.
We'll know it in a minute.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. So let me ask you some current event stuff. I guess you're supporting the president, or?
I'm sure he has support without mine.
Yeah,
considering the alternative, certainly.
So,
and I just can't get over the fact that things he inherited, and this is already a tiresome cliche, are being blamed. He is being blamed for. You know, out in Nebraska, where I just was.
But Dick, let me just interrupt you a second. He has had almost 4 years to correct some of these problems, and he hasn't done any of that. But go ahead.
I can't deny that. I find that one thing rather embarrassing that he said he would have a immigration policy his first year and hasn't. But I don't know. I wish I knew. If I had all the wisdom of the world, I would know what to do about the state of this country.
Heartburn.
Let me mention Nebraska.
Heartburn.
What?
Heartburn.
Heartburn.
Yeah.
In what context?
That was the name of the book, Heartburn.
Oh, Heartburn, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you. I thought you were talking about Romney.
All right, now you're out in Nebraska.
No, I went out there, and you know what it did? It revived my love for the West.
Yeah.
When I was a kid in Nebraska, I didn't know I was in the West. Maybe you're not in eastern Nebraska, but my God, the Indian Wars and the history of Nebraska and the death of Crazy Horse at Fort Robinson, and I got to stay
replete with a marvelous history in Nebraska.
Absolutely.
And genuinely part of the West.
Are you ever in Chadron, Nebraska?
No.
Well, when you are, stay at the old Main Street Inn. It's a building 1880. And you know I'm not a name dropper, but I got to stay in General Nelson Miles' suite that he used when he went out and had almost solved the last of the Indian problems until Forsyth and others in the Army, history fans.
There you go, dropping the General Miles name again. So
I know. People are always dropping his name, but it resulted in the horrible massacre at Wounded Knee. And I made my third visit to that grave at Wounded Knee. that you see in pictures as the Indian bodies are shoveled into it. And the soldiers, it sounds too much like modern day. Soldiers shot women and children, chased a woman down and killed her and her baby. And by God, Don, I knew a man who was a baby at Wounded Knee, remembered the sound of the Hotchkiss guns, and his mother threw herself on him. She was shot in the back by a soldier, and he survived. And his name was Richard Foolbull. He died at 93. When I knew him, he was 91.
No.
And no one ever saw him put anything into his body except beef and 5 packs of Luckies a day. I don't want to upset Deirdre with that.
You know, one of the great, you ever get a chance to read one of the great books about the West is a book about Quanah Parker.
Thanks to you, I read that, and it's got that unrememberable title.
Well, now, yeah, I can't remember the title, but Quanah Parker, of course, one of the great Cheyenne warrior, great Cheyenne chief, who became sort of domesticated and sort
of. Was he not Comanche?
Yes, he was.
Yes.
Yes, he was Comanche.
Yeah.
One of the last great Comanche chiefs.
What a great character he was, and his mother was a white.
Yes.
And I guess
one of the great heroes of Texas, Quanah Parker. So.
He probably couldn't join certain country clubs out there, but
in fact, Kinky Friedman wrote about Quanah Parker in his book, The Great Heroes of Texas. So, bringing us full circle to Kinky Friedman.
What people? You know, the thing that you forget in the beautiful sand hills of Nebraska, which may be the most sublime place on earth, if I may go out on a limb. I drove once there 410 miles. Stopping a little out of the way hidden towns, and then these great rolling, everyone sees it as a green sea of land. And you get out of the car, shut the engine off, and you realize that you have experienced quiet, but now you know silence.
Wow.
And you're the only person on earth as far as you can see. You can lie down in the middle of the road. In the 410 miles I drove on this 4th of July, I saw 3 other cars.
Always an honor to have you on this program. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but that's pretty good, Cavett, for 3 hours sleep. So.
Well, yeah, get me sometime when I'm awake. And listen, what are we going to do about your breathing?
I don't know. I'm going to talk to the doctors today. So.
Well, yeah, if you have to, go somewhere where you can breathe, for God's sake.
Dick Cavett here in the Imus Morning program, 11 till the hour.
S&P futures up a little bit.
It's got a pull start on it.
All right, and Megan McDowell, Dagan's sister, is in.
Yeah.
Any business report from your venue?
Well, Winona Judd's featured in a new series of commercials for Miracle Whip.
Well, she is.
That's like having Sid Rosenberg in an ad for Seagram's. Like having Jerry Sandusky doing a commercial for Kids R Us.
Well.
Joseph Abood for Ballpark Franks.
Let's not be hating on poor Winona Judd, because that's a hard road. Wouldn't want to live that life. That's a complicated life.
Yeah, I know.
All right, 1:15 here on the Imus in the Morning program. Warner Wolfson going to do a little sports. Do you have anything else, Megan?
Well, scientists from one of the major drug companies are developing a new pill that is going to counteract the effects of radiation exposure during pregnancy. Because my Uncle Maynard, he's got an undeveloped twin growing out from under his left armpit on account of his mama lived in a trailer down the road from a nuclear plant when he was in vitro.
What kind of plant?
A nuclear plant.
Okay.
It's not fully formed, but it can make noises every once in a while. But as long as he's wearing a shirt, people think he just has the Tourette's.
You know, Dagan.
Yeah.
And the family's all at the beach.
Yeah, I know.
With the big family reunion.
Uh-huh.
And I'm wondering why you are not there.
I wasn't invited.
Oh.
Doesn't make a difference. I mean, I wouldn't want to be there anyway. I mean, it's not fun with that family, believe me. I mean, what's it, 9:15? Uncle Otis is already probably halfway in the Jim Beam, and Cousin Eddie's in the van talking sexy to the dog. And
what time would they all do something funny, I wonder? Time for sports down here with that is Warren Wolf at 16.
Yeah, if you're having trouble breathing, why don't you just stop?
Well, believe me, I'm close to that, too. Anyway, good morning, Warner.
Good morning.